Well, good evening and welcome to this special Remembering Ralph Gumbo Bean here on islandstats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston, and joining me are none other than a few of Gumbo's former teammates in Joe Trott, Sheridan Dill, Punchy Dill, Randy Bean. We're going to be soon joined by Cal Dill as well. Let's bring him in as well. Gentlemen, obviously, it's been an emotional time over the last 2 weeks. Just remembering someone who touched not just you guys' heart, but pretty much Bermuda's heart on a football field. So, Sharon, let me start with you. Being someone with playing alongside Gumbo. Take us through the emotion part of the North Village family and how this has affected the entire community of North Village.
Good night, audience. Earl, thanks for the invite for all of us here tonight. As you said, this has been a sad period for the North Village Community Club family and all of those that have actually been involved with. Just 1 second, sorry.
Okay.
For the North Village Community Club, playing alongside Gumbo, I may not be the best person to start with, but I will say that the history that he has had with North Village since I would say Joe discovered him, and the legacy that he's left behind is just so amazing. So, with that, I would prefer if we start from the beginning. We've certainly honored him last week Thursday, and it was a very good celebration of his life. But if we want to go back to the beginning of his association with North Village Community Club, I would hand over the mic to Joe Trott.
Yeah. Well, you wanna because Joe, interesting story. We were talking before we started. He was a thief in the day with grabbing both Gumbo and Randy Bean on the same day as they were making their way from Devonshire Colts, right?
Yeah. Randy from Devonshire Colts and Gumbo was just passing by to go to them Devonshire Colts.
Right. Yeah. But having these guys come and join the North Village family, and we are also joined by Mel Bean. Mel, unmute your mic if you can.
Yeah, I'm here, my brother. I'm here.
Okay, yeah. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you.
It's good to be seen. Good to be seen by all of you, man. All of you guys. You guys look so good.
Glad we can get you. Glad we can get you in. We're gonna come back to you, but Joe, what did you see? What was the reason for you kind of stopping and getting Gumbo to play for North Village? What did you see the talent? Or had you seen the talent ahead of time?
Yes, I did.
Okay, give me 10 minutes.
We were playing out there, and he was playing for Devonshire Lions junior team.
Right.
And I had a good look at him then. And then I saw him coming walking. So I just approached him and tell him if he wanted to. I'm got an echo here. That
we don't hear echo. You probably got it up on your computer or your phone or whatever device you got it on. It's not echoing on our side.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I just said, I said to Sam, I said, look, this is a good young talent here. I saw him play, and I think we should ask him to stay with us. So
Okay.
I just asked him if he wants to enjoy his football, then you can train the lot. And if you don't like it, you can leave. And the rest is history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm gonna quickly jump to Randy because obviously the same thing was said to you as well, Randy. So did you enjoy the session? Your mic's going out again. Okay. Well, actually, we'll jump to you, Mal. Punchy, I'm coming to you. Punchy. Now, coming up behind someone like Gumbo, and you have your own talents, and you work on your own things. But what was it like, in the footsteps of somebody like Gumbo from a young man?
Man, the best thing I can tell you, brother Bass, and it was awesome. You speaking of footsteps. I used to steal his track shoes and use them because I had the bigger feet. So I would use his track shoes, and when he came in, he could tell I had used them. And he said, "You wore my track shoes, bro?" No, not me, but he knew. But it was some big shoes to feel.
Yeah.
Even though I had great feet, big feet, it was some big shoes to feel. And hey, man, he was my hero. He was my brother. He was my friend.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And when it comes to football, man, I saw him do some things that probably would never be achieved in football, especially domestic or international football on Bermuda's behalf. But probably would never be achieved again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And Joe could testify to that because Joe was a part of that team. Randolph was a part of the national team at the same time when we won the bronze medal. And Ralph was sick. And I think we played against Trinidad and Tobago. And Pepe started me. But Ralph was sick. And the whole first half, Calix Darrow, the massage medic, worked on Ralph. If you can remember, Joe, he worked on Ralph the whole first half. And Ralph ended up coming off a sick there, coming on the field, and winning the game for us against Trinidad in Colombia, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Is that correct, Joe? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was on the side with his blanket, wrapped up in a blanket, and he came on and scored a goal. Yeah, because they were leading 2-1. But it's a little twisted because Gumbo tied up the game.
Yes.
And George Raymond scored the goal. Diving home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me jump back and get Randy back here. Randy, can you hear us now? Your mic's not working again. It's not working again. Maybe you just need to unplug it or something.
Hey, you need to get his mic working because he was another hero. Randy Bean was a hero. That guy had skill and ability. Phenomenal. You hear me?
We're working on it. Yeah, oh, Randy, you're muted. That's what it is. Unmute your mic. It should be down the bottom somewhere there. Okay, while he's working on his mic, Punchy, just being around these guys, you would have been in the same kind of footsteps like Mal, because you had all your brothers playing, and there's Mal got his big brother playing, and you guys, everybody's looking around to you two as, oh, you're the next Gumbo, oh, you're the next Cal, or you're the next, So what was it like being in that environment, Punchy? You gotta unmute, Punchy.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, hi, fellas. Hey, Mal. Good seeing you again, Mal. Good seeing you, Randy and Joe. Skip, all of you. Well, answering that question was just like real lessons. be learned. You have to learn them quick too, if you want to stay in that side. But playing with Gumbo, Randy, and Joe, and my brother Cal, I mean, the seniority in the team was just very knowledgeable while I was playing. And but the skill level was extremely high, especially with Gumbo. And I always remember, there's a few games that I remember where Gumbo just took the game by himself, took over the game by himself.
Right.
He was mesmerized. He mesmerized me so much. And then I also remember winning the bronze medal down in Dominican Republic. With Gumbo and Joe and the team. But with all these guys, Randy also was a great learning experience. You had older guys that were not only good, but they were very pleasant. They were good people. They didn't just abandon you. They helped you a lot. And I just playing around that type of skill was very, very important for me in my development.
Yeah. Randy, welcome me. And I was teasing you earlier, but you would have been just like we were saying, just like Gumbo, snatched by Joe Trot to become a member of North Village.
Now, actually, then I went over to join folks, and like I said, when I went over there, I talked to Dick Dan, and Dan said, "Well, you have a lot of players." And right away, I said, "Okay, that's cool. I'll go back around." But as I was walking back, Joe tried to stop me and said, "I saw you walking over here towards Coast." So I said, "Yeah, I've been over there to join Coast." He said, "Chuck Coast, man, join Village. They play for us." I said, "Hey, that's great. That sounds even better." And just as we were talking, like I said, Ralphie was on his way over there as well. Now I haven't even learned Gumbo. I mean, he's a junior player, but I haven't even learned him to play football. Right. So we got there talking, me, him, and Joe. So Joe said, "Yeah, I'm ready to join Village." Gumbo said, "Well, it don't make sense me getting over there. I'm gonna join Village too." Like Joe got us supposed to join at the same time. But man, it was a blessing. It was a real blessing. It had to happen that way. And playing for that club was one of the best experiences I ever had. Playing with Gumbo was one of the best experiences I ever had with having a striker of that caliber. But see, the thing is that whole North Village family, man, those guys weren't just a team, man. They were a family. They were a community. Family, and I was like a prodigal son coming from down in from the country to join this club. I was so excited, but as I trained for Village and played for them, boy, I'm telling you, the experience. Gumbo was really a treat to play with. But I would always say the caliber of soccer was high in this country. You know what I mean? You had teams from Somerset, PAC, Colts. Hey, man, even the teams that you thought were second, they were up there in that class. But to play with Rolfie was a treat.
Yeah.
And as we got there, like I said, as I joined the club and I became familiar with it. Man, you had guys like Cal could run through those guys and just leave them in the week. Hey, then the younger crew like Mal, Punchy, those guys came a little after that, and they just fitted in that team like a glove. It was such a beautiful team to be in, And getting back to Ralphie, I haven't played with a striker like him in my life, because sometimes you could be playing in midfield, give him the ball, and then he's going on a run there. You become a spectator and watch One time with Iraq, when we was playing, like that name was Thomas or somebody. Gumbo picked up the ball from one of the midfield players, and when he was running. Hey, the ball's going, and the guy's moving his butt. He ain't touching the ball, and he's sending guys back, left, right, and center. And all of a sudden, he drops his shoulder. And when he drops his shoulder, he sends three guys getting that way, and he getting the other way. after school, he come down and he liked this little joke. He said, Ren, you call them guys, some spectators call them guys, what they didn't get that way. But I'm telling you, these are the things that when you're playing with a striker of that magnitude.
Right.
And the other thing I like to say, man, as good as Gumbo was, he had a lot of good players around. Man, I can name every one of these players because I used to tell my grandson, I don't want to talk to him, but I used to tell my grandson, Mark, I said, it's the quality of players that you have around you that show all your potential. Even when we played against Jamaica, man, oh man, I remember walking on the field and these Jamaican guys says to me, yeah, look, you guys can't beat us, we're a national team, you're a club team. I said, you ain't even seeing us play. And what he didn't know, we were so used to training on Frog Lane where the field was bumpy. When we got up to that surface, I believe we would have beat Barcelona. so anyhow, Gumbo made the first run down the center. Hey, got the attention immediately. And I think Joe scored 2 goals again. And I believe Gumbo scored the odds so something like that. Anyhow, I know Joe scored from the corner. But I just like to say, to take off my hat to a striker that of that caliber, I believe Gumbo would have made it in the world. If he was born in any other country, he would have been just like the rest of them you read about. Because we were born on a little small island like Bermuda. I feel to myself that he would have been far play, but he always, and we competed in Mexico, teams of that nature, and we were beating teams like that. The guys like to share the quality of this as a striker. I will always look at him as one of the best strikers I ever seen, even in the world, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, let me jump up to Joe. Joe, what was training like? Because obviously you had all these good players and even good youth players looking to breast into this team. But what was training like?
Intense.
Well, training was good. We just had some. I'm going to have to fix this because it's accurate so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me...
Yeah, the training was good because we would have some stuff all prepared and done. We done a lot of yeah. I'm going to try and fix this.
Okay, all right. So Punchy, as a young man, you're coming around all these veterans and guys who are making big names for themselves locally and internationally. What was that like for you? Just hanging in the shadows, you and Mal hanging in the shadows, waiting for that opportunity.
Oh yeah. Very hard work when you stepped up to play with those guys. You wouldn't afford too many mistakes. But we go back to Gumbo, Randy, and Joe and Cal and the likes. I think they nurtured the guys really well, and that's the most important. But we talk about Gumbo. I seen Gumbo score. I've been playing beside him. I've seen him score some goals. The guy would score goals like headers from corners, free kicks. Powerful headers. And just remarkable. His first touch was good. His left side was just, don't even talk about his left side. And I always tell the story that night we were playing PHC, Randy. I think it was for a league game we had talked about how we would play against them because our type of football. Make sure when we get the ball in midfield, we play the ball a couple of passes into Gumbo. Yeah. But I'll tell you the story. It was the second half, and the game was getting, I think it was 78 minutes. I was still on. I think Mal, I don't know if Mal was really still, but anyway, I was on the right side. I think Parks was on the left side. But their play got broken up. Joe sent the ball to you, I think, and then you turned and put the ball in space for Gumbo. And now we had 3-on-2 because they'd be counterattacked.
Right.
Parks was coming in from the right. I was coming in from the right. Parks coming in from the left. He had just got to the halfway line. And did he drop his shoulder? I think it was Butch Rabbit. I felt it was another. I can't remember who the other defender was. And so I was pleading with Gumbo, let it come. He took the ball. He went like right, left. I think that we were about 20, 30 yards out. And I said, he's not going to try to score. He struck that ball so hard. I didn't forget. The ball hit the back of the post. I'm talking the goal that was the northern goal.
Yeah.
I could not believe. I was like, I couldn't believe it myself. And we didn't want nothing.
Right.
But that's the kind of person. That's the kind of goals I seen him score. His ability up on the 18-yard box was phenomenal. He was just good. And then sometimes, like you said, he'd win the game by himself. He could win the game by himself. But that particular night, I remember that incident, and a few others. But that was just like, wow, this guy is that good. This guy, I mean, wow.
Yeah. Now, having somebody like that as a big brother, and everybody's looking at his talent and everything, you having to establish yourself. What was some of the things you went through yourself to make sure that, okay, you recognize me as Gumbo's brother, but I'm Mal Bean.
Yeah, that was a great challenge also because as we all know, everybody's got the individual character, and play. And I just want to, before I get into that, I'd like to highlight what Punchy and Brother Randy and Punchy just said. See, at North Village, it was so unique. You see, for guys like me and Parks, these guys come before me, and me coming behind these guys, Randolph Punchy, Joe Trutt, these guys nurtured me. I remember my first training session was an initiation because Doc Lurley said, Melvin, go over there, you're training with the first division team. And this was down the desert.
Right.
The juniors used to train on one half and the seniors train on the other half. And I'm going to train with the junior team, and Doc says, no, you train with those guys over there. So when I got over there, I had to go up and play striker. And who I'm going to play against, who's marking me and breaking and giving me my initiation was Wendell Joe Trutt. and he didn't sugarcoat it. He gave it to me real. So I had to learn early. And then on your second question, like playing with Ralph, man, I saw Ralph do some things, man. Punchy had just spoke about it. I saw Ralph tie up, no names called, but I saw Ralph tie up some defenders and turn them into a number 8. You hear me? Actually make them fall over their own feet. And it sounds comical, but it's real. And you heard these guys laughing, so I'm telling the gospel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when it came to North Village and then playing alongside my brother with all these great players, Cal Deal, Parks Deal, Punchy Deal, Shervin Deal, Dickie Hollis, Randall Baxter, Randall Trutt, Theo Smith, Haile Malacott, Ronald Eastman, Randy Dean, Cracks Robinson, Richard and Robert Coldren. Come on now. Come on. North Village had so much.
You're called out a national sport, man. You're called out a national sport.
But at one time, just about half of the national squad was North Village. Am I correct, Joe?
You're correct.
At one time, we had the majority of players in the national team. Yeah. And all our players was informed. Randolph, yourself, myself, Gumbo. Hey man, all of us were there. But playing with Ralph, I'm gonna conclude and say playing with Ralph. Man, when the chips were down, we all looked to Gumbo and he would come through all the time.
Yeah.
And it was just such an abundance. I'll never forget my first game I ever played. I was 15. You had to be 16 to play first division at that time.
Yeah.
I was a student at Berkeley Institute. And I'm not going to call names, but there were a few Devonshire Coach players that went there. Now, the first game of the season North Village played, Devonshire coach at PHC. Hockey Stanley Ingham had just left North Village and joined Coach. So we played in my PHC. Now, this is my first game. Lorenzo Simons was playing fullback. I ended up out jumping Lorenzo, scored a goal my first match. So at that time, Courage Bow was notorious for running around the whole field.
Yes.
Well, when I scored that goal as a 15-year-old, I started to run and I was going crazy like our bummer used to run the field. And I never forget, guys were holding me back and Gumbo said, let him go. That's his first goal. You know?
Yeah.
To conclude, I went back to school. No players' names named, but certain players from Devonshire Coach snitched on me, and I had to sit out for the rest of the season until my birthday in November because I was illegal. I was 15 years old, and you had to be 16 to play first division at that time. I was playing for the youth squad with Joe Trott and Denver Seymour, my first youth squad tour. Joe Trott and Denver Seymour were my coaches. Correct, Wendell, Joe Trott?
Yeah. Correct.
Hey, could I
All
add
right.
something else? Could I add something else?
And then the following year, I ended up being the captain of the youth squad. But you see that guy Punchy Deal right there. You see McGarrett Punchy Deal. He was instrumental in getting me to university to play for my the first black public college in America by the name of Cheney State University. He knew my coach very well. Punchy Deal and my coach were like good friends. Right. And that's how me, Charlie Emery, Lord bless his soul, Kingsley Todd, and Charlie Marshall, the cup match star. That's how we end up going to Cheney through Punchy Deal.
Okay.
That's how we went to university through Punchy Deal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get Callie, and Cal, you've been in and out. But
yes. Good evening, gentlemen, and all my fellow players, man. Please accept my apologies.
Sydney.
Hey, Melvin, Skiller, Jose, Randolph.
Hey, Calvin.
What's up, man? Hey, listen.
But Cal,
I'm sorry, man. Let me apologize. I'm driving taxi. And my phone would not stop ringing for people wanting to pick up. So, man, they kept blocking me out, man. So I apologize.
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
We're reminiscing about as you know, Ralph Gumbo Bean, man.
Yes.
You know, take us back to one of the first times you would have linked up with him in a North Village jersey.
Well, as Joe said, you know, training over at the Frog Lane. And Ralphie came over there and he's looking to join Devonshire Coast, and Joe, of course, encouraged him to come and play for us. Now, most of us were already seniors in the team. And here comes this young guy, and he said, okay, well, let's see what he's got. Well, his very first game we played, I can't remember who we played against, and he scored 2 goals on his debut. I remember that. And I said from that day on, hey, this guy here is somebody to watch. Now, I was a midfield player. And, you know, I pretty done my stuff in the midfield. But Randy could tell you, when things got tight, you know who to pass the ball to. And then stand up and watch him do his thing, man. And he would beat guys. He'd be beating me. I'm looking at him, and he's going this way, going that way. And I'm saying, what is he going to do next? Next thing you know, the ball's in the back of the net. But Earl, he was a phenomenal player. And I heard a lot of things the guys were saying about him. But I would like to say, for me, other than the most important goal that he scored to keep us where we are today, in Santo Domingo in 1974, and Punchy and Joe, you may remember this. We were playing Panama.
That's right.
Panama in the last round of the
group stage.
The round robin. And we were playing Panama. And we were playing on a field that was 90% sand, 10% grass. And those Panamanian boys were built like they must have been in the gym lifting 100-pound weights every day. And every time you put your foot on the ball, they were banging you. But I can tell you, in the 89th minute, Earl Gumbo scored probably one of his most spectacular goals I've ever seen. I mean, I think Pinks Lewis passed him the ball. He's outside the box and he drove this ball and it was like right up in the pitch. I don't think Gordon Banks wouldn't say that. And that was, I'm telling you, when you talk about happy, and it got us into the quarterfinals. And then we played Mexico, I believe, who we beat. But he scored some
Beat
spectacular
Mexico
goals.
3-0.
We beat Mexico 3-0. Yes.
Yeah.
But I at his last birthday party, I told him, hey, Ralphie, I'm telling you now, man, I have to apologize to you because a lot of times I gave you the ball and I just stood up and watched you, man. I let you do your own thing, man. And he done it. And he never complained, man.
Right.
He never complained.
Yeah.
So it was a joy to play with him, man. Really.
Yeah.
I think so, Earl. Earl, just to cut in because that's another thing about Eagles and these guys I'm on now, my brother Joe and Randy, they would like teach us. The Eagles were about winning. That was about it. You never heard like this in here, And that was another good thing that we learned from people like Gumbo also. Like you said, Cal, it wasn't like, give me the ball. You guys, we just gave him the ball. But they always kept our egos in check also. Listen, you guys, training habits, you gotta, with the right boots for when you couldn't come out in the battle without it's raining, without no studs. You won't get on that field. Sorry. No. So standards were set, and you been like with Gumbos, he set some standards, He set a lot of standards for us. And like you said, also, Cal, that game against Panama. Wow, what a tremendous goal! Another episode in his life of greatness. Yep.
I like to add something.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Randolph.
Yeah, the thing I like to add is amusing. I remember with Iraq one time, St. George's came up to play Village, and they came up in a bus. They had 8 men. Gumbo walked inside the dressing room and said, "You guys come up play us with 8 men? What can give you a girl, a man?" And that was just humans. I just thought it was to be that. It was 8-0. I believe he scored 5. I don't know if you remember that, you guys. When St. George's came up,
I remember.
8-0. But then one time he returned on St. George's to play him. And I remember Goat Bramer coming in the dressing room and said, "Why did you Gumbo first? None of you guys are getting in this girl today." Boy, do you know we played against St. George's? They couldn't even get the ball out of the halfway line, but Goat must have said every shot that there was. Guess what girl went in? Gumbo miscued the ball and he ran and he third. And as he third, the ball twinkled in and beat him 1-0. That's what the time that you saw like, especially Ralphie as a striker, man.
Yeah.
And then fight, you can see him saying, "Yeah, something's going in, something's gotta go in." And then
I used to remember watching. Yeah, I used to remember watching him.
That category that he had. There's 8 men, not no Village. Up the rack. No.
Everybody on the goal line. Everybody on the goal line.
Can I sweeten that? Can I sweeten that, Brother Baston, real quick?
Sure.
I remember we won the bronze medal. Joe Trott, you're gonna recall this very vividly. We were in Medellin, Colombia. I was the youngest on the squad.
Yep.
And that's the game Ralphie took sick and he came on and him and George scored the winner. I'm the goal. But I saw Ralph do some phenomenal stuff against these Cubans, because remember we played Cuba and a few other countries. Man, I saw Ralph do some phenomenal stuff, man. I mean, phenomenal stuff. And I had known a long time ago that he was an excellent player. But when I played in that tournament with him and I saw him do certain things, and when the team was down and the team needed a hero, needed somebody, and Ralph would just pop up, man. He was that kind of guy. Humble, but hey, he was a danger man.
I was saying, I remember times whenever you guys played on a wide open pitch, especially down Wellington, you would see him run from one touchline to the other, dribbling, and then come back and dribble, and then unleash, like you said, drop that shoulder,
Yeah.
and it was over. It was over. It was a joy to watch him like on a bigger pitch,
But
just to see, especially when he would take on one person and then two players are coming to two players and Don, and those two would disappear just like that too.
you see, Joe and him had a connection. Joe had the ball in defense. Joe, Wooly, and Gumbo had connection. Joe and Wooly would have the ball, and they would pick their head up, and the Gumbo would start a run, and they knew exactly where to put the ball.
Yeah.
And the end result was goal. You know,
Yeah.
you saw the goalkeeper's backside picking the ball out of the back of the net.
There's another thing.
Joe,
Another thing I
hey,
like to answer this. Go ahead.
see, playing with Village was a family. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
You had the Deal brothers. You had the Bean brothers. We were a family, and we done
Yes.
things together. We hung together. We had team meetings together. You know what I'm saying? We were a family, man, and you could talk to each other. We were a brotherhood. You know.
Yeah. I just like to add to Mal's situation. Mal's a young brother, young striker came up in the shadow of his young brother. I mean his older brother. But like I never forget the time when we played PAC. That game was so intense. And here comes this young guy off the bench, a 16-year-old coming on the field. But he had a good sized boot on him, sir. He scored 2 great goals in overtime. Was that true? What, Joe? Mal
That's
came on and scored them 2 goals as a
That's
young player.
absolutely correct, man. Mal,
Yeah.
you came in and you filled the shoes, man.
Jody
Honestly.
Shoes right there at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Now started out talking about deciding his foot, sir.
Yeah.
Right?
Mal put them fouls.
Now whose boots were you wearing that day? Were you wearing your brother's boots that day?
But Sherman used to call me Bigfoot. See, so it
Those
stopped.
12s, boy.
Sherman and
Those 12s
Park.
come
See, so it stopped. You know.
stomping in the drain, change your room. Boom, boom, boom. Here comes Bigfoot. Yes, sir.
Hey,
you know
listen, brother Baston, it was a joy to walk in North Village dressing room
Yeah.
with the likes of Gumbo, Joe Truck, Randy Bean, Punchy Deal, Cal Deal, Sherman Deal,
Yeah.
Field Smith, all these guys. It was a joy
Yes.
because you know you're not only going to have a laugh before you go and play, but when you go and play, you're gonna have fun too, because it was fun to watch these guys play, man. I sat on the bench and I watched these guys. They all mentored me. All these guys, Joe Trott, Randolph, Punchy, Cal, Sherman, they all mentored me.
Yes.
Without these guys, I am nothing. You heard me? I was nothing. And these guys paved the way for guys like me and the younger generation behind me.
Yeah.
So I give credit to North Village and all North Village heroes that are right there on your screen right now, and those who have gone before us.
Yeah. Joe, let me ask you, helping to put this unit together week in and week out, what was as one of the leaders or the leader of the team, what was your message to these, especially the younger guys, week in and week out?
I would like to add to
Well,
that. Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I would like to add to it because when we guys did win the Triple Crown, we decided to step up our training session, our extra day. And not only that, we decided to make sure that we can train in rain, blow, shine. I see sometimes on the desert where no team was training, but no officers did training. If you remember that we guys used to train in that weather, and when we used to train in that weather, we used to have a lot of fun. Because, you know, all you got to do is stop and go in the rain, and guys are going across you, they can't stop. But you know where it helped us, though? When we went Somerset. And when we went Somerset to play Somerset, it's hard to come out of Somerset with even a point.
Right.
That's how good they were. But we were good, too. But what I think where we messed them up this time was that we frequently trained in the rain, and it rained this day. Gordon talks about this up to now. He could not understand how come North Village beat him. I think it was 3-1. We were dancing in the rain because we trained in the rain. And what I like to leave with young players is this thing. You have to do actions. The things that you work on, and the thing is look at a coach that can coach you in the right way. Because I see a lot of things now out here. Now I go watch soccer. I'm always trying to talk to young players and tell them you just can't stop and just go to play video games. You got to go to take the ball. Do
Yeah.
action, and you see the enhancement of your team. You see a vast improvement,
Yeah.
and that's what I'll leave it at.
Yeah. Punchy, let me jump back to you. When you would have started, you'd have been sitting on the bench, but you're training amongst all these guys, and you see all the talent and everything. Sitting on the bench, do you get caught up in watching them more than watching the game to see when you get your chance what your impact is going to be?
No, I was watching them, but I had to be ready. You're not gonna get on that field. And I remember my first game out there in Chirac against Social Club, and they actually got a reel to reel about it too. That's another thing I want to state about not having us, not at the time of technology. This guy Smith, I think Llewellyn Smith, videotaped about 20 minutes of the game, and I always remember seeing it. Maybe more than that. But I came on a substitute. I think we beat it was 1-1. Maybe I think it was 1-1. What a game out there! But when Llewellyn's had bought that projector down, you guys watched it, and the 1-2s, just the football that was played. I was like, wow. But again, getting ready to, you had to be ready, and you had to have quality too. But the work that we put in training, like Randy said about coming to training, the rain, blow, or shine, and even selection with Mal and myself and Parks, Shervin, and it was hard for my brother Shervin because here comes Gumbo, and you know what happened after that? But I'm saying, getting back to your question, it was like my turn's coming. I want to be on that list when they named 11 in a couple of weeks. So I had to you had to put on display. You had to play, and it was difficult. It was difficult. It became, after a while with these guys, it was so natural. And like Mal also adding to what Mal said, it became easy. It became fun, really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Mal.
Yeah, just adding to that, Punchy, Brother Basin and my teammates, Randolph, Joe, Cal, Shervin, just adding to that, you know what? Sitting on that bench, I tended to get caught up watching, but being in a ready state, because if you were called upon, that was one and maybe the only chance you'll get to shine and show that you're worthy. You know what I mean? So you had to be ready, but you did get caught up in watching Randy flick the ball over this guy, through this guy's legs, Cal, body swear this guy, Ralph, do this guy and turn this guy into a number 8. And, you're watching it and you're enjoying it, but you had to be ready.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm gonna pause you guys for a second because Shervin had sent me something that he done with Gumbo recently, just prior to him passing. But I want to play this. I want to play this for everyone.
Gumbo being, you're surrounded by friends.
Amen. Yes.
To celebrate yet another birthday, my brother.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
May the good Lord bless you with many, many more.
I receive that and accept that, my brother, because I know what many more years to do.
And this is our wish as your good friends.
Yes, thank you.
Now, just a little token of a minor gift for you, because I had the occasion to be at Manchester United last year on my 70th birthday.
Yes.
And I saw this and I thought of you.
You did?
I did.
Bless you, man.
And it's about the greatest number 7s in the world.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. So, you got Clyde Best.
George Best.
George Best, I'm sorry. Bobby Robson. David Beckham. Eric Cantona. and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, yes, okay.
And I want to say, none of these guys are as good as you.
Yes, man. Yeah, man.
That's still the best number 7 of all time. You guys are being
I agree. If I had the ball, I had to pass to one of these guys or you. You'll get it. You will get it. You know, yeah, no, not you.
Gumbo.
So, magnificent 7.
Magnificent 7.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys. You guys are beautiful, man.
Not yet, bro. I'm going to say this is a little card.
But after all these years, I finally realized he was behind it all. The good Lord. He was
Yes,
behind everything that I did.
You know, Tonzi said that the same thing. He said that his gift was from God.
Yes, of course, definitely.
Yeah, that was his gift from.
Yeah. Number 7. No. Let's. I'm gonna ask. How did he get that number, Joe?
He asked for it.
And he got it.
And he got it. Yeah.
And he got it. Yeah.
And Joe, nobody argued about it. Go ahead, man. Take 7. Let it go too good. But Joe, I'd like to add too, man, that Ralphie was a humble person. Can't remember him ever criticizing any player for a bad pass. I don't remember, man. He'd always encourage, okay, too bad. And I don't think, in my mind, in my memory, I don't know if he ever got a yellow card. I can't recall. And I know the number of times.
I don't remember.
I know the number of times he's like kind of calmed me down because, well, I was a little bit of a hottie at times. If somebody kicked me or kicked somebody on my team, I kind of used to go up. And Gumbo, younger than me, would always come and say, "Hey, don't worry about that, Cal. Don't worry about that. Let it go. I'll take care of business." And that was just the type of guy he was. And he was like that on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
A gentleman
I
to
put it-
the extreme. Yeah.
I like to add something too. Something on a spiritual realm. Look, just like you guys told about Gumbo, his character was always like a Christian. He always had this Christian character, no matter what.
Yeah.
And I say character is actually form, And like just to see, even when I went to his funeral, because I've been in church now a long time. If I weren't there, I wouldn't be here. But I just like to add to see it. He made his calling and election sure in one of the greatest games he ever played. It's a game of life. He accepted Jesus Christ as his personal Savior. So I just like to add that. But then the man will always be the man, one of the greatest strikers I ever played with and watched in the world, not just in the world. That's what I'll leave at that.
Yeah, definitely.
On that, Randolph, can I say like that humility bit? I give all the glory to Mama Bean, our mother, because she was a very humble woman. And Ralph was a complete duplicate of her too. You know what I'm saying? He was very humble. Like you said, Cal, I never heard him speak bad of nobody. And if you didn't like Ralph, it's because you didn't want to like Ralph. You know what I'm saying? And it's as simple as that. And people like him, the deeds proceed them,
Yeah.
People know of their goodness before they even meet them. So it was such a blessing to play along with him as a player, as a brother, and like I said, he was a best friend. And like guys like him, you, Punchy Joe, Randolph, Cal, Sherry, hey man, without you guys, there wouldn't be the generation of myself and those behind me, because you nurtured us and you put us on the right path. You guys were the pioneers. You kicked the door down for us to walk through. North Village won their first FA Cup when I came on as a sub and schooled the 2 girls.
That's right.
Bermuda qualified for the games in Colombia when I came on as a sub 4 minutes from the end again and scored the girl against Mexico. Remember, Joe?
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, Joe? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes,
like through you guys, your influence and input, and you always made it competitive for me. So I had to keep stepping up my game, So I give you guys so
Hey,
much
Earl.
respect, and Ralph right along there, because Ralph always encouraged all you guys together. You guys were great, man. I love you guys.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, yeah. One thing these guys forgot was the one-on-ones that I used to put them through.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Everybody's
I
balling that
say
here.
that.
And then,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
and then it was on Mondays we had Blackboard sessions,
Yes.
That's
and
right.
everybody had to say something.
Yep.
That's right.
That's right.
Wow.
Very
Yeah,
good. That's right. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
going to
and,
board that up. I remember that. I remember especially one-on-ones as a wide player, and you put lips out there, a Mulberg for Bill and Cracks, and you just tell them, hey, take it. Get him to that. Don't let Morgan take it.
that's right.
Don't be nice to him. So by the time I got to be playing, Legend going one-on-one, and I watched Ralphie. Ralphie would turn people. I was like, wow, Cracks. I didn't want to be the defender. But just again, what like you just added to what you said also, Joe. It was tough. It was tough, and added to what Mal said about being nurtured. It was really, really, really good. And again, I never felt.
I think we've lost him for a second. But yeah. Cal, you remember those sessions?
Oh, do I ever? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I told those guys, hey, my own players used to kick me harder than the opponents, man. Yes. Cracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cracks used to come
That's
training
right.
in hard studs, man. Say, yeah, man. I didn't play last week. I might play this week. But yeah, and you know what, Earl? I think, and I'm not saying the young players today don't love the game, but hey, we guys love the game and we loved each other.
Yeah.
We go to war
Yeah.
for each another,
Yeah.
and we were best friends on the field
Yes.
and off the field.
Yeah.
Up to now.
And yep. And training, Randy was saying about training down the desert in the
Rain.
mud down there,
in the rain.
mud. Yep, and the cows.
Any
Yeah.
call.
Yeah,
That's right.
And the thunder and lightning.
And thunder and lightning. It didn't matter.
Got that right.
In fact, I hated. I mean, I said don't let it rain, but if it rained, it didn't matter. I'm
Yeah.
going training anyhow.
Yeah.
I like to add something else to the training session, and I think young people can take away from what I'm going to say. Joe tried to take Woody as a young center half coming in. It was a sand trap down there. He take him in the sand trap, and he shoot the ball up, and you got to jump in the sand to get up and hit the ball. And that's the type of intense training that we guys used to do. It sounds like a joke, but I used to see him in the sand trap if you threw the ball up, or they would go up. But when they get on the field, but I ain't seen too many guys beat these guys in here. Threw the ball. You know what I mean? It was the intensity of the training with people. And look, this is my realest family. It will always be my family.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
my greatest memory in football is at North Village.
Let me say this. Let me reiterate, put some icing on the cake Randy just made. You see, in training, coming up, and Joe's gonna smile because Joe helped rectify, him and Sam Newsom helped rectify this. I had a problem slipping down. I used to beat everybody and just being the goalkeeper, and I slipped down. And I had,
that's right.
I had the biggest feet on the team. Couldn't figure it out. Why this guy just got a breakaway and he's slipping down all the time? Well, apparently between Joe and Sam, they got together and brainstormed, and they had me down the desert afterwards, running between tires, putting tires at a short distance, and I had to step in each tire to run to sprint.
Yeah,
And that shortened my stride. So I was more ground level. I was more sturdy because my steps wasn't so long and unbalanced.
That's right.
And Joe and Sam they brainstormed and figured out how to rectify that problem.
Yeah.
These guys were geniuses way back then, Mr. Bass, and they were geniuses, Joe. Sam Newsom, these guys were geniuses. Joe drove me when I was a babe and suckler coming to the team. I used to go to every game in Joe Trott's car. He was he was my first mentor.
Mm.
Joe used to play reggae music. People didn't even know about certain reggae music. Joe used to have it.
Hey, let nothing
Am I
be a
correct,
secret.
Randall?
You're correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
What a beautiful team. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But could I add something else, Earl? I just
Sure.
like to add this here. When these young guys came and the younger guys came into the team, it was never nothing missing. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? You know
Right.
how young
Right.
players come into the team and the green around the neck? No, not there. When Punchy came in the team, when Parks, when Mal, and these guys came into the team, there was nothing green about them. It's just like a piece of the puzzle that you just put right back in place. And it was because of the senior players like Joe Trott, Mal, Cal, and myself, and guys of that nature. Because we nurtured them and they played the same pattern just as we played. That's why it was
Right.
easy for them to come into the team. The Punchy used to sidestep guy, but see, Punchy, these guys are born with gifts, literally born with gifts. Punchy do a figure eight on a guy, man. He stand up there. Look, I remember one day I could quote the guy's name. I was playing for Rangers at this time, and I was playing with the second guy. And I said to myself, I said, look, when Punchy gets the ball, don't dive in there, hurt you. But my center half back there and Punchy man ran over the ball, boy. When I look again, when he come out there, he had a two hamstring. Like, man, God, man, God. Hey, I know exactly what I could do. But see, all of that there, I would say to the young guys that came in, and Parks. I had to talk about Parks too as a young player.
Yes.
Parks had one of the fastest feet I ever seen in my life. I said,
Absolutely.
feet, man, you're going somewhere.
Mm.
And then he just goes. I just love that about him. But I love that about all these young players that came in. And it was never no envy when they came in. It was just like a piece of the puzzle. And knowing that after we go back, that this team is still going to be good. And it was always like that.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it.
Yeah.
And
That's what I add about it. But to add it all, when it comes down to who we are representing tonight, one of the greatest strikers that this island's ever seen.
Yeah.
Ralph Gumbo Bean.
Yes, indeed.
And I went down there about 4 months before he passed. And we talked for hours. And I just like to say, look, he'll rest in peace until the Lord comes. But hey, in it all, my family, my village family, Melvin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cal,
Randy, I agree.
I
And
just
Randy,
love these guys, man.
yeah.
When I see these guys, I light up like a Christmas tree.
Love you guys, man. Love you guys.
Absolutely.
A great part of my soccer career.
Yeah.
Randy,
We light up when we see them, and we all light up when we see each other.
Yeah.
yes, sir. Randy,
Before you all go, I want you each have a say of a memory that you have with Ralph that was special to you. That you will carry with you, for the rest of your life. And Joe, I'll let you start.
Oh,
So many.
man. Yeah, the memory is just the talent that he had. And he just used it to his fullest.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cal, we'll jump over to you, Cal.
okay, mine is of a bit of settle note. On the Tuesday, 2 weeks ago today, I visited Ralphie. In fact, Carol had called me to say that she said this were her words. Your friend says you have a special rub in your golf bag that he needs because his joints are hurting. And I said, Carol, I'll be right over there. I went over there and I took him this rub, and he rubbed his shoulders and in fact, his mate Cal Bridgewater was there, rubbed his shoulders, his arms, and everything. And Ralphie says, "Boy, this feels good, man. I feel good, man. I want to get up and play." And he said to me, his words, he says, "Hey, I love you guys. I love all you guys, man. And I want to let you know I pray for you every day." And
Yes.
that stayed with me. And I didn't expect that he would go so soon, but I know he's in a better place,
Yeah.
and I'll carry that with me
Yes.
forever.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Randy?
Other than seeing his juniors on the field, which I'll always, I'll always have that memory in my heart
Yes.
and playing with these guys. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Randy?
Yes. Character. Character. The character of a person is more valuable than a lot of money. It's more valuable than riches and all of that. Gumbo had a character from the time I met him to the time he laid down and went to sleep. I would never forget that about him. I would always be indebted to him as a person looking at. I won't say indebted, but I'll always be a person looking at how his character was, how I can look at there and say I was glad to be a part or a friend or a player that played with such a person.
Yeah. I'm actually going to bring Shervin back in. I know you've been in and out, but Shervin, we're something that you would remember about Gumbo personally that you would keep forever.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. What I would say about Gumbo was that despite his greatness, he was humble.
Yeah,
He was a player that was a team player, and he shared his gift with all
yeah,
of his
yes,
teammates. And even in his later days, he says, "You know what? After all these years, the last time we visited him on his birthday, he said to us, you know, after all these years, I found that my gift was from God.
Hmm.
that's right.
I was that good, and it was a gift." And it's synonymous with one of the other greats of Bermuda, the great Earl Townsend Russell. Townsend in his later days says, "You know what? My gift was from God."
Yeah,
Gumbo gave me some wise words just recently. He says, "No matter how good you are in life, you gotta get your end game sorted out."
that's right. Yeah,
And he had his end game sorted out.
that praise is me.
Yes. So before I finish, I want to just say that the great Joe Trott is on this call tonight, and I want to acknowledge the good that Joe and the significant part he's played in the history of North Village Community Club.
Yeah,
Joe Trott has been just as good as Franz Beckenbauer. I call him the Kaiser. But Joe Trott has been the backbone and the architect of all of North Village's, or most of North Village's success.
Hmm.
And for that, I want to be able to say now that we are certainly eternally grateful to the contribution that Joe Trott has made.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
my
yeah,
skipper.
yeah.
Congrats.
My
Congrats.
skip, my skipper. Yeah,
My skipper.
my skipper. Yeah, yeah.
All
Uh,
right, Punchy.
I just say what a wonderful person. On and off the field. Well, most of these guys are sad, you know. Even in Monday nights that we had the talks, Gumbo Wilson, he'll just show you what you could do better, you know. Um, and I just found that it's just a good person all
Yeah,
around. And
You dropped out again. All right, Mal. I left it late. I left it last for you. So
All right, you know what, man? The first thing I could say is too many memories to recall one. I mean, I got memories when we shared a double bed and me pushing him over and him saying, "Get over, man, I'll go be outside." you know? So it's been too many memories. I can't, especially on the field and off the field. So I can't just single out one. It's been too many. But let me say this. Ralph ate humble pie. He was one of the most humblest people I've ever met.
yes,
mm,
And he was very selfless. He wasn't a selfish person. He was selfless. He put others before himself. And then when he finally accepted Christ,
Yeah.
you saw the shine in him. So you saw that God had taken full control of his life and he was happy and content right up until his passing,
Yeah.
you know? So he was strong in his faith and we love him so much. And you know what? Just like it was one Peely, one Beckenbauer, one Maradona, it's only one Gumbo. It would never be nobody like Ralph. You hear me? But listen now, you got his son that is the complete duplicate of him. So he lives on through all of us eternally.
Yes.
Joe, I love you so much. Punchy, big
Yes,
love and
sir.
respect. Randolph, my mentor. My mentor. Calvin, love you like a hot plate of food.
Chill out,
Sharon
boys.
Deal,
Chill
come
out.
on, Skip. Come on, Skip. You gave me my name, Foot. Love you all so much, man. And if I don't see you before I return to the UK, peace and love to all of you.
Yes.
Brother Baston, big
Yes.
respect. Keep on doing the
I
good work you're
appreciate
doing,
each and
Brother
every one of
Baston.
you guys because you've actually set what football was like back in the day, with your battles against other teams. But what you guys were able to do together brought football to a whole new light. And like, even though you had teams that wanted to play against you, you also had teams that wanted to watch you because of what you were able to accomplish on the field. And none other than the late Ralph Bean, that Gumbo, that people would have, the turnstiles were always turning over whenever North Village was playing because people wanted to get there and see what number 7 was going to do next because he always had
Yeah. Yeah.
and would do it with a smile and would do it with a smile time
Yeah.
after time after time. And even, as a young man, I was happy to be able to actually experience watching him play and even talking to him after he played and so forth. And, just conversations about football in general and how you should respect the game and respect your opponents, respect your teammates, and just go on about what you needed to go on about and love the game. So, those are the memories that I would keep, from just speaking with him, and I know each and every one of you, and even everyone watching, will have a memory of how he said something to them or done something for them that had touched their lives. So, with that, gentlemen, I want to thank you very, very much for joining tonight, and look forward to seeing you very, very soon. Sherman, is a time for another reunion for these guys here to get together. Let's not wait for another sad occasion. Let's get a happy occasion that these guys get together. And to be honest, what you said, just to even recognize what the club has done for North
Earl,
Village, it's an opportunity.
Well said, Earl. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very
everyone,
much.
Go ahead, Travis. You can end it.
every one of the players that you see here represented tonight have been inducted into the North Village Hall of Fame. Every
Hey.
last one, including the greatest of all, Ralph Gumbo Bean. They were
Yes.
inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I believe you did the video for us on
Yes.
the 22nd of October
Yes.
2022.
Yes. Yes.
So they are all living legends of North Village Community Club Hall of Famers. So
Indeed.
congratulations to all of them.
Yes,
What an
indeed.
honor.
Yeah.
Not an honor. Thank you very much, Skip.
Well, gentlemen, I want to say to you,
Okay.
you all, good night.
And
We're
now,
gonna end. We're
Thank
gonna
you for
end.
allowing me to be a part of this history, Bears. And hey,
Yes, sir.
Punchy, Randy,
Yeah.
Joe, Cal, Sharon, we all made
Yeah.
we all made history together. I thank you guys for being a part of that history that enabled me to make it with you. Thank you,
Yeah.
brothers.
And I
Peace and
want to
Okay.
thank.
love.
I
Thanks,
want to
Earl.
thank.
Thanks a lot,
Keep up
Earl.
the good work, Baston. Keep
Yeah.
up the good work. You're doing some
Yes,
good
indeed.
stuff.
Thank you. I want to end. I
Respect.
want to end with a moment of silence for this man right here.
Yes.
Thank you all, and good night.
Good night.
Respect. All right, guys. Renee, right now.